What was the other Sharpie warm up?
And that's when I go.
You got my toesies
I was
wet.
about to say, did I hit you with that one drop?
One drop
from
in
my lid.
One drop in my big toe.
That was all that usually sits in the lid, and it always lands in the middle of my lap at work. Like you bitch.
What's up, YouTube? This is episode 4 of the BotCast so far.
Yes, sir.
Today we're going to be talking about our school experience, I guess, overall, like what our degrees are, the degrees we've had. Like, we both have our bachelors already. And Parker is, well, we'll get to that later, like what we're actually doing now with them and what we're doing with in the future. Do you want to start with what degree you have and like what it allows you to do?
What it allows me to do? It allows me to do nothing. But, so we both have our bachelor's degree from Manchester University.
Yes.
Well, more or less we do. Frank has a longer story than mine. I did all 4 years through Manchester, and I originally started with a physical education degree. That was what I started in.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
I forgot you were physical education.
Yeah. So my freshman year, I started in that degree, and then I did a was it just like a morning placement? Like I had to do a certain amount of hours at the high school, which was practically down the street because Manchester itself is not very big.
No, it's like 5 miles from one end to the other.
Yeah. If you blink, you miss it. And I went there and did a gym class, and I was just like, this isn't it. This is not what I want. Mostly because I was like, I don't know if I could deal with kids 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, and then everything else along with it just did not appeal to me. So then I ended up going and switching my major to sport management. And my mom and my dad both have bachelors in sport management. Or my mom has a kinesiology bachelor's, a sport management master's, and doctorate.
Your mom has a doctorate?
Did you not know that?
No, I thought she just had her master's.
Oh, no, she's Dr. Leah Hall Dorothy.
I'm going to start calling her Dr. Mama.
Oh, my friends used to call her Dr. Dorothy all the time once she got her doctorate. And she never really brings it up until, you know, there's that asshole guy who thinks he knows everything. And she's like, hi, I'm Dr. Leah Hall Dorothy. And they're like, oh, God. Because it's such a power move.
Oh, yeah, to throw the doctor in front of it.
Oh, yeah. You just slap that bad boy on the table, the measuring tape is still rolling out.
Yes.
Can't catch it.
Still unrolling, trying to catch up to
trying to measure it. I just saw your fish attacking each other again.
Yeah, they're probably getting hungry. They'll eat all day.
But yeah, I did sport management at Manchester, and it was okay. The information and experience I had my senior year was probably the best because I did my practicum by running intramurals itself. I introduced and created all of the rules for the floor hockey league.
At Manchester?
At Manchester, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was the first year we offered actual floor hockey. Was the year that I did my practicum. And I created the entire rules for it, #Canada. So it was pretty easy for me to make those and everything. But I obviously, you and I are not the greatest students.
No, not at all.
I went on academic probation 3 times in my 8 semesters, so I almost shot 50%. And C's get degrees.
C's get degrees.
But C's do not get you in grad school.
Not even a little bit. I know that personally. Well, Parker went on academic probation for, what you said, 3 times?
Yeah, it was I think my first semester going into, I was on probation for the second semester. Yeah, I like staggered it. So the first semester I would do really bad. The second semester, so like the spring semester, I would not really work my ass off. I'd do well enough to pass the academic probation and get my GPA up to the point where it's supposed to be. And then I'd have a bad semester. and then it'd be okay, and then I have a bad semester. I never got them back to back because if you did,
Yeah.
obviously, you don't go to school there anymore.
No.
If you go back to back.
Yeah, I learned that going back to back. Our freshman year, I also got put on it. Well, actually, I didn't even put on academic probation after the first semester. They straight up kicked me out after the first semester.
Yep.
And then I set a school record, 0.69 GPA after the first semester. Didn't even have a 1 at the beginning. Yeah. And then I got accepted back with the help of your mother, Dr. Dorothy.
Dr. Dorothy.
She helped me write my letter of to what's the word I'm looking for?
Letter like
It starts with an R.
It's not recommendation, reimbursement.
Let's say retrial. It's not a retrial,
Yeah.
but it was my way of trying to get back in. I had to like write a letter, and then I had to. Manchester was weird. They had it split between 3 terms.
Yeah.
So we had our fall term, which was August till December, and then we had winter term or Jan term, which is literally
3 weeks long, the same class,
every day,
3 hours classes day.
Oh, God, it was awful. 5 days a week, 3 hours, and I did experiencing the arts.
Your first year?
For my Jan term.
I took my math class because I needed to do it as quickly as possible and get it done as fast as I can.
So when I registered, I had a senior helping me, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love Dr. John," which I do love Dr. John. He's an amazing professor. But it was a 300 level class that I took as a freshman, and it just blew me. I mean, it was freshmen could take it if you paid attention and wanted to actually do it.
If you wanted to do it, yeah.
I just didn't at first. I was actually just seeing if my letter thing was up there. My dismissal.
Oh,
letter.
isn't it on your?
No, it's not.
Oh, you took it down.
Yeah, it's somewhere else.
You had it on your hat. I thought it was
Yeah,
for your graduation.
I took the letter that they sent me to kick me out and stapled it to my hat, and that's what I walked across the stage with on when I graduated. But I got put on academic probation because they accepted me back after I passed my Jan term.
Mm-hmm.
Spring semester, I did okay. My overall didn't get up high enough, which is they kicked me out again after spring semester because I had a 1.96 and I needed a 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
So then, after freshman year, I spent the entire next year at a community college back home. Actually, I spent the summer at Ivy Tech in Valparaiso.
Mm-hmm.
Then went back to the community college because I didn't do well in my summer class because it was Spanish. I'm Mexican and I failed it.
It's tough.
Oh, God. That's why my grandma calls me her little white boy. And then I came back to Manchester. Oh no, I went to Prairie State. Had to do a full year there. And then I came back the following year, and I was on probation until senior year. Like my overall GPA just wouldn't get high enough for me to be above.
Mm-hmm. Because there's some classes that weigh more than others that actually affect your GPA, and then the other ones don't do anything, and you're like, why isn't my GPA going up? And they're like, because you suck. But it's actually because our classes are screwed to fail you.
Well, and it didn't help I changed my major, so they wanted me to go back and retake classes, but they didn't deal with my major anymore. So I ended up with a bachelor's in exercise and sports sciences, gotta say the full one. Gotta sound smarter than I am. Which also allows me to do 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a stepping stone to grad school, which, like we said, sees get degrees, but not get you in a grad school.
Mm-hmm.
So I started as what, athletic training? Yes. I started as athletic training, hated taping. Well, no, taping was the only thing I liked. Hated everything else about athletic training.
Yeah.
Switched to criminal justice. Complete opposite spectrum. And then when I came back, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do some type of therapy.
You switched to criminal justice when you first came back?
Yeah, when I came back, sort of the second semester of first year.
I forgot that's when you switched. I thought it was later on when you switched.
Because we had sociology together, and that was...
with Pratt. Pratt? Pettit.
Oh, God.
Great. That was one of the greatest classes ever.
Dude loved Disney.
Uh-huh.
That was...
The different comparisons you made. With my degree, they were really, talking about what you could do with it. The mindset of Manchester and what you can do with a sport management degree is you start out at a minor league team. You're a ticket salesman, and then you work your way up through the organization. And I'm like, I don't want to work for a professional or minor league team. That's just, I don't want to sit in an office all day and do tickets and try and sell shit and all that. That just didn't appeal to me. And I'm like, I can do campus rec. I can do parks and rec. Like, there's so many different outlets and different avenues I could take compared to what they thought. Because I originally was told, this isn't the major you want to do. When I was initially trying to transfer over, I was told, this major isn't for you. And I had Rick Espacet, who's the athletic director. Yeah. He has a degree in sport management. And he's working in campus rec practically. Athletics mostly, but he's over top of that sort of area.
Because whenever I worked for Strout, which was the maintenance man, Rick Espacet was the one that like directed us when we were trying to put stuff together for sporting events. Yeah.
Yep. Like, there was just so many different outlets that they had such a shallow mind, because literally everybody in their program who had gone through sport management had been on a minor league team or had worked their way to, like, there was one person who talked to our class my senior year who worked for the Blue Jackets.
Who?
They're a hockey team that suck.
Okay, I have no idea. I've never heard of Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them like go AAA or not AAA, but like minor league baseball.
Because there's so many minor league teams.
Manchester. I mean, they told me my degree that I'm doing now, or that I got, was also not what I wanted to do. They tried to get me to go to the physical education one.
Really?
Yeah. My advisor continuously was like, "No, I think you should switch to this one." I was like, "No, I want to."
No, thank you.
I want to work with I want to work with kids, but not teaching them how to play kickball. Teach them how to walk again. That's why I ended up switching to exercise science, because I think I did a summer camp for sports kids that summer, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I love working with kids. I'm the exact opposite. I love their energy, and I need it like 5 days a week to keep me like energized 5 days a week. And I was like, I want to work with kids, but I don't want to do sports all of the time with them. And then this is how I landed on where I'm at now.
Right.
Is that, like, why did you pick sports management specifically? Is it just because of the outlets that you could go with, like campus rec?
Well, originally, because I wanted to do something in sports, but I had no idea what that was. I knew I didn't want to work in the, like, professional sort of realm in those sort of departments, but I knew I wanted to be involved with sports, because obviously sports have been part of my life since I was able to walk. Even before that, like, the typical sort of involved with sports, gonna want to be continue on somewhere with it. And then obviously my parents being both having both sport management degrees, I was like, I might be able to do something with this. And now, because I originally got accepted, I got offered a position at ETSU, East Tennessee State University, to do a graduate assistantship through their program and do a 2-year program working in their sport, or their intramural department. Yeah. And I didn't get into grad school. I think I was sitting at I was at like a 2.6 or a 2.7, and their like threshold was a 2.8 for their typical ones. Like the low bar was a 2.8, and I was like just missing it. Like I was jumping at it, and I could touch it with the tip of my fingers.
You were slap in the middle of the net, but you just couldn't hit the rim. Yeah.
Like I could hit the backboard with a hand, but I couldn't touch the rim and dunk. And so with that, I obviously went through the appeal process and was like, that's the word.
That's the word.
That's
appeal.
the word.
That's
yeah.
the word.
As soon as I said it, I went through that appeal process, and they originally told me, if you take some classes leading into next year, you can reapply to the program. So obviously we thought, why take more bachelor level classes. Let's just try and get master's levels, and those can transfer over and bump my GPA up. After year 1 of my program there, I reapplied, and they said, "Oh, those don't apply to your GPA." After they literally told me, "These classes will apply to your GPA."
I hate school so much.
It's something.
I just don't like the school like our system is so like college grade system in general is just so built to like penalize us and not like keep us going. So like, you probably did really well in your last like with those first years. And
well, it's because my best classes are online. I do so much better online because I get to go at my pace and I get to know, like, I get to figure it out myself, and like if I need help, I can reach out to the teacher. But usually, especially for this program, it's not that good, or it's not that difficult to where I'm needing to like be in constant contact with them and I can figure it out. Because most of what I'm doing are papers and discussion posts, and discussion posts are a waste of time. Hey, Boopers.
Hi, bud.
You want to be part of the BotCast? How you doing? But you need to go see Dad.
Hi, buddy.
And I was offered that position, and since I didn't get into grad school, they offered me an internship because they knew I was going to take classes and try and get to it. And I worked there for the 2 years. First year, my boss quit, and then my GA counterpart got a full-time position, so there was no professional staff over in intramurals. It was just me and the intern. Well, technically 2 interns because I was the intern, and I always played that card because everyone was like, the graduate assistants have to go do this. I'm like, I'm just the intern. I'm just the intern. And my most recent boss, like there, did not like when I said that. So I continued to say it. And it was good experience, but it was stressful that first year because I had to take over the entire department for this second half of the year.
Was that the year that you made that video, the 2K one?
Uh-huh.
So you did that in your first year?
Yes, sir. And I told them from the start that this is something I can do. I can make these different types of marketing videos and different type of stuff. And they're like, oh, okay. Can I do it? Let me think about it.
Never heard anything back.
Nope. So then when obviously now, since we're streaming and doing all this stuff with sort of esports, I found where I want to do and use this degree with, and something to do with esports. And I offered the first like esports programming that ETSU had offered. So I had a 2K tournament and a FIFA tournament.
Both solid choices.
We had it set up in the auxiliary gym, had 2 projectors up on the walls, like big games up on the wall.
That's so badass.
It was awesome. Like it was the first event, and we didn't have the full amount that we wanted, but we had people sign up and we had people participate, and we're like, year 1, perfect.
Yeah, because like I feel anything, especially in schools, the first time that they do it doesn't typically turn out well.
Oh, because it's such a learning curve, especially with the growth of esports in the last 2 to 3 years because of Fortnite.
I mean, I had no idea what esports were before. Honestly, before Fortnite. I mean, I watched like Minecraft videos on YouTube. I didn't never watch Call of Duty League or.
I didn't own my first COD until 2018. Modern Warfare was the first one that I owned.
And see, I started with Modern Warfare 2, which is funny because you knew esports way COD League way before I did.
I just got into that sort of esports realm after on my senior year because I lived in the basement with a bunch of nerds too. So I lived with Burns and Gage, and they would constantly watch LCS, the League of Legends tournaments and stuff, and I'm like, this is a thing, and the prize pools are like millions of dollars, and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way there's that much money in esports, There is definitely that much money in esports.
I feel like it was easy for like, well, not easy, but like it was easier to transition to esports just how long we've both been in sports.
I mean,
Especially for you, like transitioning with your degree to it.
it's definitely an easier route to get into that, having that sort of knowledge, because it's the same premise. It's competitive sports, just in an electronic setting, and you schedule events the same, like LAN tournaments. You have different consoles. You schedule those games, winners bracket, loser bracket. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm learning more as we go, especially with watching the COD tournaments. Since you talking about your master, going back to your masters now, and how it's been applying to like esports, I'm technically going to school for early childhood education at the moment.
Yep.
That was a panic move. Okay. I last year had a bunch of this time last year had a bunch of different stuff happen, and I needed to pick. I felt like I needed to make a decision on my career.
Trying
choice.
to find a path.
Yeah.
What path you wanted.
I was trying to stagnate after school because my advisor didn't really prepare me for the fact that my degree did nothing, or like my degree is a stepping stone for grad school. Like he promoted a bunch of things to me that I could do, and if I asked for help, his thing was usually research it, and I was like, well, I have, and I have more questions, which is why I'm here, which was usually to start an argument. So I kind of was like walking blind after graduation. Got my job at the hospital. And that's when I was like, oh, I can do nothing with this. Even if I get certified as like, say, an exercise physiologist, it means nothing for me. So then I did I think I did like 3 months in this online program. And I was like, no, this isn't the way I want to work with kids, which is why I switched to it, because I wanted to work. I knew the one thing I've always wanted is I want to work with kids. And then I work as a rehab tech currently, which is basically the easiest way to put it, the therapy bitch. So I help the therapist do whatever they need to do. And by
Okay, you needed to be in the shot.
Do you just want your 15 minutes?
15 minutes of glory. We know you're gonna get all the glory and suck it up, so you need to leave some for us, okay?
Yeah. They're not gonna want to
Stop
look
being
at us.
so selfish.
He thinks that we're so mad.
Yeah,
at
he
him
does.
Right now.
Look at his ears.
How buddy? Can we talk and then cuddle? Can I cuddle afterwards?
Okay, go lie down with Delaney.
Go cuddle Delaney. Go cuddle Delaney.
He's
Go cuddle Delaney.
no, Dad. I'm not Delaney.
That's perfect. Go cuddle Delaney. You know exactly what we're talking about. Bye.
Oh, he actually went in there. Usually he goes and sulks to the couch.
Usually he sits at the door, looks at me, and he goes, fine. And
Yeah,
then
he
goes,
looks back at it.
He like curls his butt and goes.
We both did it.
Yeah.
We looked different directions too.
But now I'm attempting to but start an associate's program instead of another bachelor's or master's, because with my GPA my freshman and sophomore year, I could not go to grad school at all. I played around way too much. I think I brought my GPA after freshman year, which was a 1.96, and I think I graduated with like a 2.76. My last year I got like a 3.2 overall. I tried.
You sent it.
Oh, I did nothing but work and study and go to the gym. That was it. Had no life senior year. I'm trying to think about like going back for myself. I'm going for PTA now. That's what it is. And so since I can't do PTA is the next best option. It allows me to do what I want to do in terms of
and still be involved in that sort of field that you're looking to be in now.
Yeah. I mean, outside of our streaming stream, if streaming,
if we're able to profit from it,
if we're able to
figure out how to make it somewhat of a part-time or potentially a full-time
job. This allows me to do something that I enjoy regularly and still make enough money to pay student loans.
Just the biggest pain in the ass.
Hate them. Signed my soul away at 18.
Do you want to talk about how much you're in debt?
That I've earned.
That you've earned? We'll just say it's a shit ton.
Yeah.
Shit ton plus 6.
Plus, yeah.
At least 6.
At least 6. God. How did you like Manchester? Did you like being there?
That was weird.
Yeah, I put it in my mouth and
That was
realized
the
it was
poor life decision.
Yeah, I forgot I tore the adlets off, so the little fuzzy down my tongue and it threw me off.
Yeah, Manchester was fine. It was really a big culture shock, I think, for me because I lived in a big city.
Yeah.
Growing up, so everything was open 24/7 all the time.
Yes.
And I get to Manchester, and the only thing that's open past 11 o'clock is Casey's. That's the only thing that's 24 hours. McDonald's closed at 11 on the weekends, 10 on the weeknights, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So that was the biggest culture shock about it. But I thought Manchester overall was good. Just the experience because of the people.
Yeah, I would say Manchester. I would say the school itself has their issues like every institution does. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no perfect institution. It's just finding your little pockets that you like there, like your friend groups. Like
yeah.
I made really good friends while I was at Manchester.
Yep.
And there's a few professors who really helped me out, and for myself it was also a culture shock. Do you want to say which big city you came from as well?
Oh, I lived just outside of Edmonton, Alberta, in Sherwood Park, which is considered a hamlet.
What's a hamlet?
It's not. Well, it's big enough to be like a town or a city, but they would have to pay more taxes if they do. So it's a hamlet. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
I'm trying to figure out if we have anything that's like that, or like what we would call that in the States.
I don't know. It's just what they like. It was classified as compared to like a town or a city.
God, Canada's weird. They call their donuts, their donut holes, Timbits.
They're Timbits. Absolutely Timbits.
That's because you guys have Tim Hortons as your mainstream. We have Dunkin' Donuts as our main for.
Yep.
I think I've seen one Tim Hortons, by the way. And I have not gotten to go in.
There's more Tim Hortons in Ohio than you think.
I think that's where I saw.
That's where they are.
Yeah. Which
there's actually one. There was one in Fort Wayne. I don't know if it's still there. It was just a little like quick bake shop, so it wasn't an actual Tim Hortons, but the ice caps.
What's that?
It's pretty much a frappuccino in a sense, because it's like an icy blend, but it's just delicious.
Chef's kiss.
It's my favorite thing. That's anytime I'm back or see a Tim Hortons, I always order one.
I have to go to a Tim Hortons now.
I'll take you, Daddy.
We go to Ohio, even though it's
yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'd rather not go to Ohio. So
well, maybe when the borders and everything open up, the three of us just go to Canada.
Canada. Oh, I want to go to Canada so bad.
I should see my grandparents at some point soon, and then I should see my friends. I guess.
That was one of the things when we were in Manchester. I was like, I want to go to Canada with Parker. This would be so much fun. Because, the drinking age in Canada was also 18 at the time.
18 in Alberta and Quebec, 19 everywhere else.
And I was like, oh my god, we could go to Canada. We could get drunk legally. This would be great.
Stuff is taxed heavily, though.
Oh, that's fine. I bet you guys. I don't know. You said your imports there were Rolling Rock, and that cracked me up because.
That was just one of them at the bar. So.
It just cracks me up that it's classed as an import for you guys. Well, it is.
Technically, yeah.
Oh, God, I got sidetracked.
Coming from, like, your culture shock wise.
Yeah, so you came from Canada, and then I came from the south side of Chicago to a farm town. Yep. I had never seen a cow in my life. And the first thing I smell in Manchester is cows everywhere. And if it wasn't for football, I probably would have told my mom we needed to turn around right there. We got there, and I was just like, there's so many white people, Mom. I've never seen more people that look like us like this. Or like, in one setting. So that it just threw me off. Because then also, like, Casey's is the only thing open. The only like food that everybody went to was El Mez.
Yeah, the Mexican place in town
El,
was delicious.
El Mezquite, but we just said El Mez for short.
Yep.
Delicious. Everyone got the same thing every time they went.
Arroz con carne, arroz con pollo, like those were the go-to there.
Yes, their margaritas were actually surprisingly.
Have
good.
you ever had their the liter one?
No.
They bring you out a pitcher.
I did not know. I didn't drink there often. I think I went there for drinks like.
And their monster is practically a fishbowl.
I need to go back.
I was very drunk on my birthday one year.
I need to go back. Just for
the margarita.
I just want a margarita. Would you go back to Manchester? Like, if you went back to like high school self and you're picking your schools and you had your options, would you pick Manchester all over again?
Would I pick Manchester? Probably. I wouldn't change that experience. I don't think, because I applied to a bunch of different schools, and I actually didn't know I was accepted until I might have already told this on the cast, but I didn't know I was accepted until I randomly, like, my dad asked, "Did you get anything from any schools?" I'm like, "I got this email from Manchester, and it was pick your dorm." And my dad's like, "Hey, dummy, you got into Manchester." I'm like, "No, I didn't." Because I never heard back from the other 3 applied to. And I think one of the reasons was because I was in Canada, so that there was the mailing was weird, because I got my Manchester packet like 2 months after everyone else did.
Oh, it said pick your dorm, right?
Yeah.
So they were probably already like,
They were like, "Why haven't we heard anything from you?" And I got an email like, "Hey, you need to pick your dorm soon."
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Would you give your like younger self after you picked like Manchester, or like, I mean, you didn't really have it. I mean, you could have waited to see if anybody else, but like.
Oh, I could have stayed in Canada and played college basketball at a university there. But I was always told by my parents, "You need to go far away so we can come visit you and pick somewhere warm," which we didn't.
No, you picked the place where we have to have a Jan term because it gets so cold in the month.
And so I always had that mentality, and I always wanted to go back to the States for school, because I had no really intentions of staying in Canada for school.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be like,
yeah.
Oh, this sound bad, but didn't want to be all my friends living until I was 24 in my parents' basement having parties and them pouring drinks for me.
True.
I didn't want that.
I did that, because that's one of the reasons why, like, even though I had a terrible, I would say, first 2 years at Manchester, a lot of it was my own like problem and my own like self-destructive behavior at the time. But like, I didn't want to end up like, I love you guys if you watch this. I don't want to end up like my friends. I mean, my best friend still lives with his mom. I mean, he's saving up for a wedding, but and one of my other best friends, he also just moved out of his house, and he's 25. And I didn't want to be like that either. I wanted to have my own experiences right away.
Yep.
And I didn't really explore it outside of Chicago. Like I said, I didn't see a cow until I was 18, 19. God. I don't know what I would tell my younger self, though, like, before I went to college. I don't think my younger self would have listened to anything I would have to say unless I...
Yeah, you don't listen now, so
no,
I don't think that changed.
I think I would have had to, like, beat the crap out of myself.
You're gonna do this! Just throwing hands at him.
Oh, yeah, just sitting on top of myself, like, focus when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Boobies mean nothing after you play with them. Yeah.
I don't know if I would tell my younger self anything. Maybe just to kind of experience it more would be a sense, because I feel like there's obviously different circumstances for me with some of the things I didn't get to experience. But it's not like reliving those prime days. It's just like reminiscing and thinking back, like, damn, that's something I could have done.
Yeah.
Or I missed this one thing that all my friends are doing because of something.
I think that's what I kind of did senior year. To sophomore, junior year, I shut myself off and I just studied, worked out, and did nothing but focus and try to
Right.
catch up and get off of academic probation. Because did they allow you to still have your scholarships when you were on it? Because I lost all of mine when I.
Oh yeah, I lost all of mine.
Yeah, so I went from paying $7,000 a semester to the full semester for 3 years.
Yep.
And then I got them back halfway through my first semester, and they're like, "Here, we'll reimburse you." And I was like, "No, just send it to Sally Mae. Don't even
Don't even give it to me.
don't even give it to me. Send it
Give
back
it to them."
Yeah. I think that's probably the only advice I'd give myself. Don't sign your soul away to Sally Mae.
Yeah. We're still gonna restructure that
Yeah.
at some point.
I actually looked at the Mohella the other day, and they said they don't do private loans anymore. They only do federal. I was gonna touch your mother about
It's
it.
dumb.
I was gonna touch.
She'll
Dr.
figure it out.
I'll touch Dr. Dorothy. I'm changing her name in my phone. It's gonna be Mama Dr. Dorothy now. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think is there any what was your favorite do you have a favorite moment in Manchester?
Favorite moment? Are we talking class wise or
Class, just outside of class. You can do one of each.
Man. I'm trying to think. Because there's a lot, but not at the same time. Class wise, I think my senior year, when I only took one class for my final semester, and it was a night class that was once a week, was the greatest thing I ever decided to do.
How are you able to live on campus if you did that?
Because I had 9 hours of my practicum.
Oh, because you were doing the intramural?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's...
So I had it set up. I think I had 16. I had higher amount of classes in the fall, and then I had my practicum hours set for the spring, which was a 9-hour course. So I just took one night class, and it was a class taught by Professor Watson, and it was the movie class, cinema and something. So we would watch a movie, and we'd have to break down the different parts of it.
Why did I never take this?
Because you had to get in it early.
Oh, I think that was your elective, wasn't it? Or was it an elective for you?
Oh, it definitely wasn't part of my major.
Okay. Let's say my electives were all psychology and, not psychology, philosophy.
Philosophy. I took one philosophy class. No.
The arguing in philosophy classes is what gets
It
me.
goes straight over my head. I'm like...
the amount of... I think it was the debating everybody all of the time was my...
That's because that's where you live.
Yeah, that's where I live. And it would piss some people off. Because, I played professional devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me understand other people's points of views when I play devil's advocate, which is why I usually do it. So then, when I do argue people with that point of view, I can be like, I already have my way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly practicing to argue with people over in philosophy. That's what I spent 3 years doing technically, because I had one philosophy class every semester. Did you ever meet Meyer? He was my favorite teacher.
I don't think I had him, no.
He begged me by the beginning of senior year to be like, "Hey, will you
switch to philosophy?"
And he was like, "Will you minor in this so I can have another kid in here?" And I was like, "No, this is for fun."
No, I can't.
Did you have a favorite outside of class activity or something a May Day event or anything?
I mean, intramurals were always entertaining.
To watch the D3 athletes take it seriously,
especially in the spring semester when all the football players play. Cracked me the fuck up.
But you can always tell when a football player is outside of their sport. It's so aggressive.
Cracks me up.
You ever try to watch a football player throw a baseball? It's all upper body.
It's so bad.
It's so just all muscle, because they're just so used to just walking like that. I mean, I'm guilty because I also do it. And they walk with no necks because they're so used to
shrugging and tugging.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing though would be to try and get my ego out of the way, because definitely early on you don't see that bigger picture of things, and you're kind of involved and lost in your own sort of thing. Competitive wise, I think is where that's where my sort of thing went. because the ego of you have to win everything, you have to be perfect, because
Mhm.
that was the mentality of everything,
Yeah.
and it's just a gross, toxic mentality to have.
Yeah, I would say that's probably what my downfall was in after football, because I had that ego from high school, because I was the captain and
Mm-hmm.
was the only one of the four that had the D1 scholarship talks, but
Right.
not like, obviously I didn't go D1.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got there and I wasn't doing well, I was like, well, what do I do now? And it caused me
Mm-hmm.
to be lost for the like next 2 years until I
Mm-hmm.
found an outlet.
Yeah. But it was just so funny with intramurals usually. I think my favorite one was 3v3 volleyball. I could not get enough of 3v3 volleyball.
I still want to do an adult league. I feel like we would bully in an adult league.
It would be so much fun.
I looked it up the other day. There's a Greenwood Community Center that throws adult leagues together. Yeah,
Is it the one down by the park?
I think so. Yeah,
I think I saw them. I've seen them before practicing, or like actually maybe even playing in there.
Yeah, they. I forgot how much they allow us to play, but we have to like wear a mask when we're not playing and all that stuff. So I'll look more into it. I need to get some athleticism in my life.
Pandemic has definitely changed sports a little bit.
God, it saddens me to watch Cubs games now, or like
because no one's there.
Because no one's there. Did I tell you the Pink Hat guy died?
He did.
Yeah, he passed away. I looked on his company's page because they tried to buy out. They tried to buy the Cubs a few years ago.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, he has enough. He tried to buy the Cubs, and they were like, "We're not selling to you."
That's funny. That doesn't surprise me. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I was. Somebody I saw a forum on not forum but a post on Facebook about it, and I was like, no, he didn't. So I looked him up, and they linked me to his company, and I was like, oh.
That's in chat.
God.
What's next? You mentioned that you were going to. You're doing this, trying to transfer over.
Well, the next is hopefully getting into the associates.
Is that a 2-year program or is it 1 year?
It depends. So
Okay.
I'm transferring my credits over from Mancha. I just sent them over, and I'm waiting to see how many of them will transfer. I got accepted.
Woohoo! Because there was another school that you applied to that said you got accepted, and then like 2 days later or something it said you weren't. Right?
Yes. So the way this school works is they accept you to their Gen Eds program, so you have to pay money to do that.
Right. To get placement into it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they were like, well, you didn't get accepted to the PTA, but you can do Gen Eds until we accept you. And I was like, no.
No, there's
I already have
waste of time and money.
Well, they base it off of my GPA for my bachelor's, which confused me because
It was another bachelor's that you were doing, right? Or was that...
No, the PTA is a 2-year in general.
Even there? It was? Oh, okay.
It's a 4-year when you have no previous experience, because you have to do 2 years Gen Eds and then 2 years. You basically did 2 associates. You did an associates in general eds, and then you did an associates in PTA, and I was like, that's just not worth it for me.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And I just... they said no due to my GPA in Manchester, which blew my mind since I already have a bachelor's and I'm technically applying for a lesser degree. I was like, that logic confuses me a little bit, but they're saving me thousands of dollars. It was a sign, by the way, because when I was doing my scouting visits in high school, I actually rejected this team for wrestling.
Oh, from there?
Yes, because my coach was trying to get me a wrestling scholarship instead of a football one.
Yeah.
Because he thought I would do better. And I was like, dude, I went 0-9 last year.
I don't think I'm going to do better.
I went 12-2 this year, and that's because you put me in the secondary team, and I took on all of their backups. And he got me the scholarship. He got me the offer from the school, and I had my letter from Manchester at the same time, and I was just signing away.
Right.
Because I was like, I want to play football. I'm not wrestling. I'm not built for wrestling. So it was just a sign.
Do you know when you start?
No.
Not yet. Still trying to figure out.
Yeah, I have a meeting with my advisor on the 10th, so next week.
Next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday, I think. So we're supposed to hopefully... I sent my transcripts over, and I've been emailing the school, so hopefully they'll... the plan is, the goal is my credits from Manchester, because the classes that they want me to take, I've already taken in Manchester, will
Nice.
transfer over to.
They actually do?
We're hoping, because
Okay.
Ivy Tech transfers to Manchester, so I'm hoping it
Oh,
goes
so
back.
it goes backwards.
I'm hoping it goes backwards. But anybody who's looking into a liberal arts school should pay.
Mm-hmm.
Their credits don't transfer well or
No.
easily. You have to find. Not many people plan on transferring.
No, but sometimes the transfer process of classes doesn't actually go to other institutions, which is weird in a sense, but
Considering that once we get that degree, they all count
Yeah.
for the same thing, but to get to the degree, their classes aren't necessarily credited the same, which is really
Right.
weird. I don't understand this process, so I'm not gonna try to explain it any better.
Yeah.
Hopefully before the end of the summer, or at the end of the summer. My goal is to start in August. If not, the second date is October.
Oh, that's when the next term is.
Yeah, or like when they allow the next students to start, because it's Ivy Tech, so the classes are usually at night.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be driving about 45 minutes.
To get there.
Yeah, which doesn't bother me. I like to drive, or I like driving, especially since I'm growing my hair. I'll just roll the windows down. Cat was cracking up on the way to the park because it was slapping me in the face, and she's like, "Doesn't it annoy you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just happy I have long enough hair to do it."
You're like, I just love it on my face.
But next is just waiting to see if that school accepts me, and if they do, be going for my associates, and then depending on how many credits transfer, will be if I'd have a year or a year and a half.
Awesome.
This way I can start paying student loans. Yeah, I'm starting on that for now. I don't know if anybody has I don't know if anybody's been able to notice, but I like to do things as I go. I'm not a planner by any means. It's usually like as it comes to me, I deal with it. Which is bad. It's
Not
awful.
always. It's not always bad, but
It helps me when things are constantly on the fly, like my job. Like my job is constantly different. Like things
being able to adapt to what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of planning. It's all like what is planned. I started that a year and a half ago when I got the job, so it's already a year ingrained into me.
Right.
What about you? What's next after this master's?
After the master's, nothing. I'm never taking another class in my life. Right after this, I'm going to go write a 10 to 15 page paper. I have a page and a half of just less detailed notes that I have to fluff. And then I have one class left, which is my capstone, which is a 15 to 20 page paper.
The fact that
But I get to pick the topic, so I'm assuming it's going to be esports and it's going to be a cakewalk.
if my paper has to be anything farther than 5, I lose interest.
Oh my god, dude, this is going to be a struggle.
Like, if it's... I think on certain topics I could probably go on for days. Like, if we want to talk about anime or Cubs,
Yeah.
I'll be gone. I could write pages.
I want it.
Like, but the second, like, I have to write 2 papers today, too. Not nearly as long, or probably nearly as detailed, but...
Detail's a strong word. I like to consider it fluffy.
Fluffy. Like Fluffy.
The dog liked to go to the park because of the dogs. Very good dogs. It's just reusing words, reusing bullshit.
Which teacher did I have? I had one teacher who would, like, highlight our whole paper, and then I forgot what it was, but they could count how many times a word was used. So if one word was used too many times, she would count off a point for every single time that word was used unnecessarily. It was Ames. Oh, I don't know if you ever had her. Oh, I had her... Well, all the books that I have from her are thrown in the back because they all suck. Lassie child. Lassie. Yeah, so, like, there was no way I was fluffing my papers with her.
Yeah, but after that, I don't know. Because I'll have a bachelor's in sport management and a master's in it.
Since you worked where you do now, are you gonna try and, like, find a higher position, or are you gonna...
Probably not. They are starting an esports program. And I've talked with my boss occasionally about it, but I don't really want to be involved.
No.
No, it just seems like too much work.
You want to focus on our esports?
Yeah, I want to focus on ours and kind of building our brand. And then I like my job. My job is manual labor and it's easy, and I kind of
Yeah.
do how I want to do it. So
I would say if I made enough in my position that I am now, like if I made more money, I would probably do it just as it does. Like I have a lot of leeway to do what I want to do. It's just I
Right.
have a lot to do. But that's what I like. What I want to get to at school is like so I can focus more on our stuff. So like hopefully once school starts, since it's going to be stuff that I'm really interested in, it won't be as hard for me to get through it. And I won't be working as much, so it'll like free me up to do more stuff. So we can bring you guys more content consistently, because that's my thing.
That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep going.
You just the way you looked at me threw me off. That's kind of all I have for our school stuff today. I mean,
that's what I was about to say.
If anybody
thanks for watching. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it.
This is gonna be up. We're hopefully gonna record a few more and then start posting weekly, and this will probably come out a month or so after it's recorded today.
Yes.
So.
I'm currently waiting for my girlfriend to be done with her finals, which will be done Thursday, so I can take her tablet and use it for all of our drawing and logo stuff.
Because we're going to start making the logos for this. We're going to start some different branding. We're going to hopefully
get some
drop our merch here in the next couple months.
Some Botfield merch.
Yeah.
Bot merch.
And then if the BotCast blows up, we'll do some BotCast merch drop too. And like, we're excited. We got some things in the works, and hopefully we get those rolling here soon. Yes.
Hopefully by the end of the summer we're on a consistent roll with podcast videos. That's my goal for like myself right now is to.
Yeah, our biggest thing with it is that we're trying to stockpile a few so that we're able to not feel rushed to like, oh shit, we don't have a episode recorded this week, we have to record it right now and post it.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid that, so.
Because, I mean, obviously life goes on, and we
Shit
may
gets
not
crazy sometimes, you know?
And we have a lot of weddings coming up here.
Oh, wedding season is about to bang.
Yeah, I have 3 this year, from August till November, because I have Tim in November, Freddie and Haley in August, and then one more in October with Kat.
Yeah.
I think I have one.
I think Delaney has like 3 friends. I am a groomsman in Freddie's wedding, and yeah, there's a lot about to be happening real quick, and hopefully over the, it looks like I think it's the end of this month, and the end of May, the college is closed for a week.
So you're gonna have a week to just grind stuff out home?
That's what it looks like. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what the like community schedule said in the hallway, and I was like, okay. So we'll see how that goes, but Botfield, BotCast, we got shit rolling.
I feel like we need a BotCast sign out, but I don't have one online yet.
We're not gonna have a sign out. It's just gonna be the same guy, and there's gonna fade out of us talking like this, and then.
I like that. That works.
We're gonna find music at some point to put at the start, I think, because the free whatever where we get our music for our videos and stuff has some nice intro outro sort of like short little vibes that we can do, or you know, Haley has made us a few beats when we were gonna make a mixtape.
Those beats do
they kind of slap.
They slap. I like I think yours and mine were my favorites.
Well, yours was good because you had screams in it. Your screams were part of the beat.
I think I'm gonna start. That's gonna be my new like going live thing is screams and squeals.
Screams and squeals.
Screams and squeals, because that's all I do.
Oh God.
Ooh. All right.
Peace out,
Girl Scouts.